Hello? Can we hear me? Hello, hello? Can we hear me? See if I get my camera work. Alright, seems like it works. Hello? Looking good. Bit louder, like you need me? Bit loud? Should I turn it down? Alright. Give me a second here. Let's see if I can, oh, the cam's locked. Let's see if I can make the camera fit the screen a bit here. Alright, it's not letting me edit the camera. So it is gonna stay awkwardly in the middle here. See me, no mas, with the Prime. Supporting the casters, the beer league in general. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Let's turn on the music a little bit so we can get into this draft. I'm gonna turn it down just a bit. All right. Hey, Gabe. Zeta makes some feeda. I like that. Zeta is a goat. Can't wait to see him play today. Alright, I'm solo casting, so I'm gonna need you guys to help me out with the, I need you guys to give me some content, some stuff to read, so, I have someone else to go off of. What do you guys think about this draft? Who do you think is gonna win this game? What do you think about some synergies, maybe some anti-synergies? What's going on here? What's the deal, chat? You tell me. I have no idea. Kaisa mid? Let's see. CMP seems to be running the Kaisa mid. It's huge. It's fun. It's been a recent meta thing. Kind of broken. So one thing about CMP, there's jungler is a very strong player, very good. And it seems like he's on the Trundle, which is a scary pick. Can make a lot of early game plays, and against an Amumu that could be devastating. There could be some invades. And I've been helping coach winners brackets team a little bit. So something that I warned them about is if you're gonna choose something like a Maokai or a Amumu, you have to be ready when you get invaded. I'm gonna fix my camera here real quick. Seems like it's kind of out of focus a bit. Pyroan is half decent. He never goes mid anyway. I watched the VOD from last week in preparation, and he did gank Bone Garud. I did notice that in the mid lane. He 3-camped in the mid, so I'm wondering if he's going to do that again, because I told the team to tell winner bracket mid laner to watch for a 3-camp gank into the mid lane. So we'll see if that happens. I haven't seen these games yet. I know the turnout, but I don't know what happens in the games. Can't say much since you were in it. SP Glim, who are you playing as? I guess I'll see once we get in game. Maybe your username. CMP mid. Alright. Let's get into it. The Kaisa tech. I've seen it a lot in my solo queue games. It's really, really annoying. But it's very effective. Something about the winner bracket draft that I kind of wanted them to do is I wanted them
battery low.
Oh, my headset's dying. I don't know if you guys hear that. Sorry about that. I always have technical issues. There's always one technical issues during my cast. So you guys did, you know.
Charging battery.
Should I just unplug it and plug it back in for the ASMR? Are you guys ready?
Charging battery.
Hip new jam. Charging battery. But something that I wanted to draft with winners bracket is a comp that has really good re-engage, front to back, appeal for your jinx, and overall, like, something that could sustain a fight for Jinx to get a reset. So things like Lissandra, I think, is really good for this. Amumu wasn't something I set in the comp, but Amumu was pretty strong right now. And the Mordekaiser pick, I kind of... 900 Slimes, you can't control what he's going to play. But he always seems to make the picks that you don't think would fit into a comp work. So we'll see. We'll see how he makes his Mordekaiser work, as he has triple AP topside now. Mumu, Lissandra, and Mordekaiser, so it could be really easy for Trundle to build some MR and do some damage. But Mordekaiser does help with peeling for the Jinx. I hope I see an ult that peels for the Jinx. I just worry about this Trundle pick for the Mordekaiser, because if Trundle waits until Mordekaiser ults you, then he ults back. He gets a lot of those stats. I believe that's how the interactions work. Can I get a confirmation on how the Trundle Mordekaiser ult swap goes? It's whoever who ults who first, right? Is it one of those scenarios? Anyways, I'm going to get into the game. I don't think there's anything really to note with the bans. I just told Winners Bracket, ban Pyroan. If they don't pick Rumble in the first draft, taking Pat Jones off of the Rumble. I watched in the VOD, he piloted it pretty well. For the bans on CMP, taking away 900 Slimes on the Darius makes sense. Ashe is a meta pick. I don't think I've seen Jubilee play a lot of Ashe, but he could definitely pilot it. Soraka busted, Zeta can pilot like all the enchanters, so I think it's hard to ban. Excuse me, I'm drinking a pop. Hard to ban Zed because he can pilot enchanters very well. Jubilee is OP. That's why, like, when someone has a strong chant pool, I try not to like ban them out too much. Unless you have something like Pyroan, where the champs that he's gonna pilot are very, very yeah, it is tough to ban Pyroan. But why are you trying to help them into us? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm the coach of Winners Bracket, or at least a sub for them. I've been helping with them drafting. But I still haven't seen these games, so I don't know what happens here. Taking away Gwen makes sense. 900 Slimes popped off on it last week. And it would help. It actually really is a good ban here, because he could take it and have that triple AP topside and do true damage anyways. Syndra ban makes sense. It's actually one of the 2 picks that I had for the mid laner, because it helps peel the Jinx with the scatter. Team's dog, woof woof. Maybe I'll just delete the entire drive that I have that helps you with the with draft, since you don't know how to draft a top laner, it seems like. Yeah, man. Mordekaiser goes hard here. I put an entire draft for the 900 Slimes, and then he picks triple ATP topside. Team's dog, woof woof. You wish. You wish. Alright, let's get into the game. Alright, I'm going to pause the draft music here. That's what I'm saying. You better watch yourself, 900 Slimes. Don't bite the hand that feeds. I think that's a saying, I don't know, that I might have heard once or twice. Alright, I have the sound off. And look at that. I don't know if you guys noticed something here. Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. Mumu fixes triple AT topside pre-level 6. You're so right. Trundle doesn't build Merc Treads or any MR and screws you guys over. And is a very good counter into Mordekaiser. You're right. My bad. Also, good job, guys, being in LCS order here.
To Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn.
That is a huge diff. If you're not in LCS order, I mean, you should just take the L right there. Whoa, Zeri mid. Oh, it is a Zeri mid. Interesting. Pretty fun pick. I do think Kai'Sa mid is a little bit better, but you can definitely make Zeri mid work. First strike might be a little bit tough to proc in the mid lane. Awesomenator is a really huge fan of the electrocute style on Lissandra, which makes sense into this lane. He takes electrocute with that and Syndra, I believe. Pretty standard start. Doesn't seem like both... Oh my gosh, I need to stop drinking this pop. Doesn't seem like both teams 5-point though. A lot of wasted wards. Zeri with the longsword refill. I usually take that when I have TP, so I can take advantage of the refill, getting a max advantage from it. Alright, not much to comment so far. Pyroan, like I said, look at the prediction. He is mid lane. We do have the Lissandra tech to get out. I did warn Awesomenator to get this ward here, so we should have seen... He actually didn't put the ward in the right place, so we should have seen Pyroan walk into this side. But I don't think we quite caught him, but it didn't matter because he walked through the mid lane. Taco's Tuesday doing a good job of just... taking his red buff and chilling, so nothing happens in this mid lane. Does set Trundle a little bit behind in farm by making this play in the mid lane and walking into the enemy jungle. But gold is the same so far. 900 Slimes is getting ganked here since Trundle skipped 2 camps. Is Tacos Tuesday able to back this up? This 900 Slimes just barely gets away. Let's look at this HP bar in the top lane. We gotta see it. Looks like he had less than probably like 20 health at the time. He's crazy with it. As he picks up 900 Slimes, always picking up the Dark Seal. It doesn't matter if he's winning or losing. He's picking it up. Really good vision from CMP on the top side. Awesomenator, no vision down. Has a ward. Could get caught out here. It is tough to gank Lissandra. I think Taco Tuesday is taking a nap, but does recognize that there is good vision in the bot side. Dragon's coming up, and there is a scuttle, so he is on the way to the bot side. Yeah, no Comet. If Comet was available on the Malphite when he flashed for that, definitely would have killed. Oh, Jubilee a little bit caught here. Leona going in, but Tacos Tuesday is right there to back him up. Misses the Q on the Amumu. Jubilee chasing him down. 2 flashes, but Pyroan is just around the corner. Jubilee being a little bit greedy, has very little mana left, but Zed doing a nice knockback onto Pyroan, and they get out. No flashes from the jungler or Jubilee. Crazy trade in the mid lane, and Awesominator just barely gets that kill, knowing his limits. Well played. And this is actually huge for Awesominator because he has the TP advantage as well. But he doesn't get the wave in. This is actually crucial here. It might not make a difference, but if Gentle Criminal had TP, he could have held that wave there, I believe. He's a knower. Awesominator is a knower. But this is actually really, really, really good for him, because now he can walk to lane, he can use his gold advantage to create a more of an advantage, and if he takes a poor trade, or even a good trade, he can just reset and have even a bigger advantage. Misclicked an AA, that's the worst, man, especially when it comes down to that. Yeah, here's the trade I'm talking about. Awesominator taking a poor trade, but does get the ultimate out of Gentle Criminal. And if Awesominator wants, he can just clear this wave and just take a reset and TP back. And he will have a huge advantage. But Tacos Tuesday is coming behind Gentle Criminal, and he has no wards down. Lands the Q. Awesominator coming out the ult. And down goes Gentle Criminal. And as always, we have to grieve for the other wave. Getting a ward down. I really don't like this from Awesominator as Pyroan flashes over the wall, gets the pillar down. Awesominator forces a flash. Amumu landed the Q, but Pyroan gets the kill at the last second. Tacos Tuesday lands both his Qs, and Pyroan hits level 6. I thought something crazy was going to go down there with the lethal tempo. And now we're taking an objective. It's crazy. I've never seen Winner's Bracket do this before. But we are taking the dragon. This is new heights for the Winner's Bracket. I can't imagine the things they'll do. Now that they know that there's objectives you can take on the map. It's crazy. I know this is new. Tacos Tuesday following up with the game with Kabbalah and Leona going in, knowing that they just took Dragon, and looks like they've got Leona covered, but Empirical landing a lot of damage onto Zed as Jubilee picks up the kill, but Pyroan is here. Could land a pillar onto Zed and get a kill here. Momo landing the long-range stun onto Empirical. Empirical flashes out. Pyroan getting kited pretty well, as now the mid laner, Gentle Criminal, following up 900 Slimes TP'd in. Jubilee with the long-range rocket. And it's just a party down here from Winner's Bracket. Gentle in danger here. Looking like an LCS team, not gonna lie. Oh my god. Crazy. A little bit of an overstay from 900 Slimes. This Malphite is going to crash a wave and meet, looks like 2 waves up here. About a wave and a half. It might be able to crash this wave as well before 900 Slimes gets there. Yeah, there's these objectives things are new. Pyroan accepts that that play happened bot side, knows that there's a lot of cooldowns on the side of Winner's Bracket. Runs straight to Herald. It's a good play. At this point in the game, you look at the scoreboard and you think, man, we are ahead. It is 7-1. We got this game in a bag. But It's only 2,000 gold. One bad fight, and this gold will swing to almost even. Especially with shutdowns. I'm curious what Pyroan does with this Herald. This Pat Jones is a little caught out, but has his mountain move ability. Yeah, the tempo after the bot lane, definitely there's a little bit of overstay by 900 Slimes, and it was definitely a really good play, but it was a little bit awkward in the sense that they lost a lot of minions. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Like, setting behind, you could argue that setting behind the Zeri is a really good play, even if you lose a little bit, like, to gain. But you got to think about tempo, because they end up giving Herald where they didn't have to give it. If they just reset and didn't kill Zeri, Pyroan's setting up in the bot lane, has the Herald. But Tacos Tuesday is here, can get the lane gank off. They don't have vision. He's hovering. He doesn't quite know if this is the play. I'm curious if he was seen on the ward. As I know there's going to be a play down here, so I'm going to take over. Oh, really, really good setup from Tacos Tuesday. But do they see Pyroan? Pyroan backs. Tacos Tuesday just throws a Q in that bush. It could be massive. But he decides to walk away. Perfectly okay. I really like the idea. I think it was creative from both junglers to try and get that. But nothing becomes of it. It's crazy how close that was to being an incredible, like, huge play. Pyroan desperately trying to set up something for this Herald. Malphite coming to the mid lane. Awesominator not able to use his E. This leads into a 2v3. Awesominator with no wards down except for the one in the middle of the lane. Which Pacho's a little bit caught out here by Tacos Tuesday. Tacos Tuesday doesn't have ulti. Must have used it early on in the fight. His 900 Slimes is trying to take down Pyroan. But caught a little bit and gives away a shutdown, but gives opportunity, just what I was talking about, opportunity for Jubilee to pop off. But not quite under the tower. It's too much. This is a 2 for 2 currently. Gentle Criminal caught up by the Jinx Trap. Not able to pick up the kill. Ends 2 for 2. As we head into an ARAM. Yeah. Hey, it had potential, alright? I was paying dividends, and they did not pay off. Let's take a look at gold here, right before this dragon play. Even though Jinx has a kill up on Kai'Sa, he's still down on gold as Jubilee is low and just walks into the Leona. Gets shut down. As Mordekaiser just is popping off. And gets the pentakill. And would it actually be a pentakill if you didn't taunt the enemy team afterwards? I don't know. Probably not. Significant gold lead for winner's bracket. Really well played. And I like the follow-up. They got the objective, but they didn't all go on it, and they got some damage on this mid lane tower, as Niner Slime's a little bit caught out here. It has a 600 gold bounty, and just gives it away. So they are now back to a 2k gold lead. And gives it to Pyroan. The plot thickens. Pyroan, though, a little bit behind. That did give him the potential to come back. But, picking up a lot of components. Has no completed items yet. I think it's tough to play Trundle and have a lot of your lanes, like, just have some awkward gank times. And like when you're playing Trundle, you need a lane to gank, right? And usually it's when I played on COG, Michael used to play Trundle, and mid lane was I would always play mid lane champs that you could set up ganks with. And I think that's why it worked so well. Winners Bracket is a well-coached game, I would say so. They still have, you know, we're all here to just have fun and become better players, I think. I think they play well. They have a lot to learn. But genuinely, I think they have fun, which is the best part. Personally, I have more fun when I win. That's just me. But, or your jungler hard carry you, either one. Man, it's crazy. I can't just have friends that hype me up. All my friends put me down. Do you guys see this? Chat, do you see this? Oh, guys, let's remake COG. It'd be so much fun. Meanwhile, every COG member in here flaming me. Calling me dog, saying I get carried. I'll have a mental breakdown in the stream. Don't test me. I'm just kidding. Awesomenator a little bit caught out here, but he is Lissandra taking a lot of damage. He can't even use Z. He's just CC'd. I can't move, man. As the gold lead is down to 1,000, even though there are 7 kills up, only 1,000 gold lead. I do like the 2 dragons from the side of Winners Bracket, but there's definitely a way for CMP to win this game. Pyroan picking up the Blade of the Root King. This is where he's got a lot of damage at this point. He's a little caught out here. But makes a nice play, queuing onto the Raptors. It's really well played. It does get Leona all down for this dragon that's coming up, but Leona all this has a low cooldown. It's already a quarter of the way there. I think it's like 60 seconds at this point. Malphite still hasn't completed his mythic, which I assume he might be able to buy here. Yeah, so now he gets his Iceborne right before this dragon. It's really nice. CMP summoning the Herald mid as Tacos Tuesday gets a little bit caught. Is able to set up his 900 slime. Is TP in the back, but Malphite's right on his tail. Awesomenator coming in. Malphite, Pat Jones launching himself into the Moo, killing him right before he could do any damage. Empirical stuck in the Mordekaiser ult as 909 picks up the shutdown. Pat Jones forced to flash. as CMP is sent running scared of this terrifying Mordekaiser. What a crazy fight. And it's still going. Pyron gets caught off by the claw from Mordekaiser. Jubilee doesn't quite have the ability to track down the enemy team off of his reset and is a little bit low on mana, but they are positioning around this dragon. Jubilee trying to help out Nine of Slimes instead of helping the dragon. Can they pick off this Leona? He doesn't have quite the mana, but does pick him off with the last rocket and gets his presence of mind back. Trevor, thank you for the Prime, man. Can I get some LFGs in the chat? LFG Trevor. We need some alerts. We need alerts for the for when people sub. Heck yeah. Now, after that last play, it was a really, really close team fight. 900 times being ahead just makes it really difficult for the side of CMP. Pyro catching Awesome Nader out here a little bit, but he is Sandra and has the Pyroan. Does he get CC'd? Because it seems like those Merc Treads are doing a lot of work. Niner Slimes flaming his mid laner for using his ultimate. But yeah, it's really hard for CMP to make anything happen here. But there's still only 2,000 gold behind. Personally, I think if Pyron built like some MR in the early game, just like a component, like some Merc Treads and maybe just like an extra MR item, I think it might have helped before Mordekaiser gets this Rift Maker to start doing true damage. There's a lot of components picked up from Pyroan, but it did help him in getting that shutdown, the 1,000 gold, and got him some tempo. I could be wrong about that, but if I'm winner's bracket here, I'm just gonna dance on the Baron. Don't need to take it, just wait for the next dragon in 2.5 minutes. You'll be a little bit caught out here as Pat Jones catches him out. But he does flash heal out. Gale Force barely lives. As they're looking for the re-engage, as they have no Malphite ult from Pat Jones. Taco Tuesday misses the kill, but does land a 3-man ultimate as Jubilee is firing from behind. And there's a huge front line for Jubilee to just lay down the wall with his rockets. Now we're looking to pick up the Baron. And sometimes making sure the waves are pushed so it's hard to contest. The composition is just too good. At this point, building MR is a little bit more difficult. We've got the Rift Maker, we got the Amumu. Lysandra built a lot of ability haste over ability power, which makes it so he's not doing as much damage, but he definitely has cooldown reduction to help rotate his abilities. I think personally when I go something like Everfrost and Minor Slime's a little bit caught here. Does have another shutdown, but not that big. Gets the kill onto Pyro and Sonya's, but there's not much he could do there. Shutdown onto the Kai'Sa, which is fine. It's only 150 gold. And he did take out Pyroan right before this dragon, so he won't be there quite on time. Zeta going crazy. Look at that scoreline. Everyone in chat, look at Zed's scoreline. Crazy. Spoon feeding, carrying this team. Where would winner's bracket be without him? For real. Zed is the rock of winner's bracket. For sure. Before this dragon, I'll say it after the dragon. I'll talk about builds a little bit more. As Pyro and CMP just burning the dragon, and it doesn't look like winner's bracket is able to contest this. And Mumu gets in, but isn't able to smite. Gets a 3-man ultimate again. Jubilee is caught by Leona, but Gale Force is out and doesn't get hit by the Malphite. He is launching a lot of damage, but Gentle Criminal doing a lot of it as well. Jubilee living. And now CMP is in danger as Awesominator is just ripping them apart. Incredible, amazing job peeling for Jubilee. It's super difficult to get on top of Jubilee with this composition. Lissandra's just and Amumu are just seeing too many people, and you see Gentle Criminal making his way and getting on top of Jubilee, but it doesn't matter because Melio is able to peel so well. Gives him a lot of shielding. I really like the Gale Force pickup from Jubilee as well. Because he will lay down damage. He just has to stay alive. And it's funny, it seems like some of these fights starts off with Jubilee getting caught, but just has so many tools to live. If CMP had a little bit more damage, I think these fights would be a little bit more dicey. Like, if it's like that extra 2,000 gold that winner's bracket has, and these extra dragons are that little difference in the fact that Jubilee is living and then able to lay down damage. It's those extra little things like the Amumu and Lissandra and the Mordekaiser are giving time with the dragons and extra gold. Seems like we'll probably get a little bit of a break here. The game's probably going to be a little bit more extended now that winner's bracket wasn't able to pick up that soul dragon. Probably see a little bit of some farming. I was going to say, Awesominator is doing a lot of damage. I'm pretty surprised about that. Pyroan is picking up the MR now. There's MR on Leona. When I know there's like triple ATP on top side on my team, or just in general, I usually build CDR boots because the flat pen from your boots is not as effective. And Slime's a little bit caught out here, but can press R into Pyroan. Pyroan ults him back, and this is what I'm talking about. Pyroan is doing damage onto 900 Slimes, and looks like he would have won it if he had more time. It would have been close, especially with the Zonias. I mean, it's crazy. Trundle is 3-8, and 900 Slimes is 10-3, and it still was that close. It's just a gold diff. But actually, really well played from Winners Bracket. I really, really, really like how they played. I do want to recap some things here to note on why they won this game. Oh, can I not do that? Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. I think some key things to note within this game. Pyroan last week did a 3 camp into mid lane and attempted it again this game, and went for the invade. This is something that Winners Bracket was expecting, so Awesominator was purposely leaning onto this top side to avoid that gank, and Tacos Tuesday was most likely communicating. So this, I think, is a big game changer for the side of Winners Bracket, because this could be game changing if Awesominator didn't take his E second, knowing that this might happen. Like maybe goes QW and tries to bully the Zeri. Could have been a different game. And this ward here does they do see Pyroan go into the top side. Although this could have been devastating as well. Pyroan doesn't quite have smite. Tacos does have it as well. Tacos Tuesday could have smited this buff right here and then turned on Trundle, maybe? I don't know. And probably would have died. Unless he just goes up to his Krugs here. And then 900 Slime's actually having a ward down, I'm pretty sure, this week. Whereas last week, 900 Slime's died to a topside gank without a ward. And we talked about this in the review, and I think that was really important as well. Game changing, these small things in this early game, and this prevented CMP from having a gold lead early, which I think it led to some of these dragons later for the side of Winners Bracket. Really good game. All right, and we're in for the second game here. Let me hook us up with the next draft and fix some of the scores and stuff like that. So Winners Bracket should be on this side, and this should be CMP. I know there's better ways of doing this, but get some champ select music. And the series score is 1-0 now, if you're just tuning in. Alright, chat, what do we think? What do we think for these comps? Said, I don't think List was the issue. I think List was an invisible issue. Because when you're watching these team fights, you don't see Lissandra like blow someone up or ult a key target, but gives the timeline for Jinx to pop off. And now, Jinx doesn't have that extended fight potential because Ahri is going to be diving an enemy target and won't be peeling and giving CC as much for the Jinx here. Granted, Maokai does about the same job that Amumu did. Personally, I think CMP's comp here is way better. I think Zillion is one of the most broken champions in the game. That's a personal bias, but it does make it really tough for Jinx to get a reset. It's really tough to catch out Kai'Sa here for the Ahri. And Ornn makes it difficult for Ahri to get into the enemy team. I think Volibear is a solid pick. If you're thinking in terms of winning against the enemy team, but it doesn't do a lot to help your team in this sense, other than being beefy frontline. Orange should be R4. Yeah, I mean, like, Ornn is a decent blind champion, right? Like, you can just mitigate lane on Ornn. And then that's exactly what I was about to say. He picked it into Volibear, which doesn't, I don't know top lane that well, but I assume Ornn struggles into Volibear. If you're going to pick Ornn, you should probably pick it blind here. So Ornn R4 here is probably correct, but I think the even better play here is to just have a counter pick into Volibear, because from what I've played Volibear a very little bit, his counter matchups are pretty tough to play into. Yes, CMP's draft here is beautiful. I really like it. I really like Zillion Jarvan personally. I really like the Vex on top of that, because Zillion has some really key targets to ult here. Someone that goes in, gets all of their abilities off, and then can rotate them afterwards as well when they revive. Some things to note that Winner's Bracket doesn't have, like I said, less time for the Jinx to get a reset. They do have something that's really good here, is disengage. Maokai is pretty good at allowing the enemy team comp to come into them, and so is Melio. And then giving time for Jubilee to back up. But then with the Ahri Volibear, those are two things that kind of want to go in. So you got some anti-synergy there, I think. I can see something like Maokai presses W, Ahri goes in, and Volibear ults in, and then Jubilee is by himself. So what I think this game comes down to is who pulls the trigger first. And personally, I think whoever pulls the trigger first is going to lose. Because it's all about... I think there's too much pressure on Jubilee to dodge key skill shots in this. He's not going to have enough to help him. I think the Lissandra was really key in allowing Jubilee to pull off some really good plays in the last game. It made Jubilee in this situation where it was like more of like a 1v1, and he Gale Force flashed away and got like Gentle Criminal was trying to get on top of him, but the rest of his team couldn't help because Lissandra and Mordekaiser are. There's just less of that in this. Alright, let's get into the game. I'm actually going to open it. I'm just going to go into the starting soon screen for a little bit, and then make sure that the timeline isn't up and stuff like that. So I'll be right back. Alright. We are here. We're ready.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
Five stack from the side of CMP makes sense. Winner's bracket does invade a lot. I'm surprised winner's bracket doesn't invade here. Not in LCS or order. Again, kind of cringe from everyone. It's whatever. I'm not upset.
Minions have spawned.
Looking at runes, everything seems normal. Pyroan giving the XP to Vex, so he will hit level 2 first. Pat Jones taking a lot of damage as Niner Slimes is going to land the E and get a bunch of autos off. Does anyone know why the audio does that? Like the music just randomly gets louder out of nowhere? I don't know if I'm just tripping. Pyroan clearing his red straight into ganking mid. Just one camp ganking mid as he's going to get the EQ off here unless he flashes, forces a flash out of Awesominator, but takes a ton of damage from the passive of Vex. Awesominator is not in a good place here. Is now Pyroan is able to invade, and Awesominator is just going to keep taking damage from this Vex as he's going to be able to bully his lane opponent now. Maokai gets invaded. Doesn't recognize that Pyroan came from the top side, so he's going to look to play vertical here, but not going to be good as Awesominator is taking way too much damage. Pyroan piloting the Jarvan very well. Making sure his lanes have huge pressure in the early. I'm surprised he doesn't invade. Maybe he thought Maokai started bot side. Maokai is in the top side here, but there's not really much you can do. Yeah. Tacos Tuesday is in a really difficult situation here as he tries to make something creative happen here in the mid lane. But there's not really much. Just waiting for... Oh, Pyroan does get the gang off onto Awesominator, but is Awesominator able to kill him? Just barely gets it. But Gentle Criminal does get the kill first, gets the first blood as Tacos Tuesday follows up with the gank. Does force a flash. Is feared away. Does he get another W in time? Gets it. Is chunked. Gets the kill. 2 for 1 for the side of winner's bracket. And the gold is even. Pyroan now invading, but it is recognized from the side of Wizard's back. Toxu knocking him over the wall. Niner Times is here. Pyroan is slowed. Still level 2. Oh. It's crazy. It's crazy. Pyroan is now at 2 camps at 4 minutes 30 seconds. That's a little bit of an issue. It's Taco Tuesday every day. Also, I need a little bit caught out here. Awesominator getting chunked a lot this game. Not having a lot of pressure. Did pick up the Dark Seal. Being 1-1 and camped by a Jarvan. Personally, when I like pick up an early Dark Seal like this, I kind of ask myself, am I able to win the 2v2 with my jungler? And pick up early game kills that makes this Dark Seal purchase right now good. Tywin a little bit caught out. He doesn't have the E flag to go to. And 900 Slimes just slam dunks him. Has to give him a little bit of the taunt too. He's just Winston. No, he does not want a banana. If winner's bracket wins this game, it's definitely through 900 Slimes. 900 Slimes, just every game, getting out of control. And he's super good at creating space for his team. It allows Jubilee to pop off in fights. It was a 7 minutes with a 1k gold lead for the side of winner's bracket, and things are pretty chill for now. Dragon is up. As Maokai is just farming to 6. This is actually really good from the side of winner's bracket. They're preventing the side of CMP from taking these early objectives, even though CMP should theoretically have this bot side pressure here. From mid getting pressure early, and bot side having a Jinx. Kai'Sa has Hail of Blades. He should have this early game pressure, but they haven't taken Dragon. Awesominator landing the charm onto Gentle Criminal. Taco's Tuesday coming up with the ultimate. Awesominator getting a little bit chunked. Pyro not able to do his EQ over the wall because of the Maokai ult. And Awesominator picking up the kill. Taco's Tuesday not able to get him onto the tower with the Q. Knocks him towards Awesominator. Pyro flashing the the charm from Awesominator. And is able to pick him up with the flash. Pat Jones could make a crazy player, but is low on mana. Pyroan getting level 6 from the kill and ulting. And now Empirical is here. And they don't kill Pyroan. What the heck? What the frick? That was wild. That was actually kind of crazy. There was just like really close things that happened there. Like imagine in a world that Taco Zuze was able to Q Pyroan under the turret and didn't knock him closer to Awesominator, because Awesominator dying allowed Pyroan to get level 6, which allowed them to win that team fight. And the roam from Empirical. That was crazy. Really well played. Jubilee flashing. I actually don't mind the flash, as Vex could have followed up with an R there and did a little bit of damage. But he doesn't know that Vex is by himself. And Jubilee and Taco Tuesday trying to take this dragon by themselves. Not the play. As the side of CMP just follows up with 4 people. And Awesominator did not move at all. And now CMP has the gold lead. Even though it's 5-5, they're about 1,000 gold ahead. Nine times pinging and he's on his way. This is actually a really good play. Gentle Criminal has no mana. And Nine times has his dunk ability. Zed getting chunked. Just barely lives, but Empirical able to go in. It gets exhausted, and Zed just barely lived. He's crazy with it. Niner Slime's TPing down, dunking on them. Pyro going back in, ulting, getting Jubilee caught out. But Joe goes down, gives the shutdown to Zed. Zed gets the shutdown. Gentle Criminal forced the flash, but Awesome Manator gets on top of him with his dash and charm, and he goes down. And now the gold swings right back in the side of winner's bracket. We're just on a teeter-totter, going back and forth between the teams who's winning. As we miss Cannon on the side of winner's bracket, you might as well throw up the FF vote. There's no coming back from that. Zed yet again not dying. Awesome Manator a little caught out here with no ultimate. Does do a nice dodge and that EQ from the Jarvan. Jarvan is picking up Eclipse, so he is going to be less tanky. CMP won't have as good of a front line, but it is a pretty standard item. Empirical autos the turrets. Yeah, it did seem like Zed lived with a little bit of... I think Zed could have taken a one more auto there purely because Empirical was exhausted. It would have been close. I didn't notice who Zillion ulted in that fight. I'm kind of curious about that. A nice setup from Pyroan in the bot lane, getting this Herald out. And they just have so much damage, and the Zillion are really good dive potential. But Zed is doing a good job about lowering the Empirical so they can just come in and finish him. Why is the camera in the top side? Maokai missing his R on Pyroan? As he's just going to walk out because Zillion is the most broken champion in this game. There is some flash trades, but nothing coming of it. So it's a 1-for-1 on the side of the 80 carries. Really good counter gank on the side of Tacos Tuesday. A little bit late. Awesome Manator dashing in onto Gentle Criminal, but gets the kill. Pyroan could follow up. Not able to. Flashes in! But Tacos Tuesday is right there. Pyroan not able to get the kill. Tragedy.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Awesome Manator staying. No flash, no ult. The madman. Did you know that Tacos Tuesdays was patented by Taco John's like 35 years ago? And they just gave up the trademark this week. Come on. Who did they give it up to? Taco Bell? How is that trademarked? How do you trademark that? Wasn't it was it a case where they got sued for the fact that they couldn't trademark it? I think I remember hearing that. So now no one has a trademark? Also, I love Taco John's. Trademark support takes Awesome Manator a little bit caught out here. in the middle of the ult doesn't have the ability to get out. Gives away a shutdown. Zillion forced to use ult on himself. Maokai landing a really good R, but is 900 Slimes able to kill the Zillion as it was Jubilee's way too low to help out. Pat Jones flashing in. Empirical picking up the 600 gold shutdown, and that's rough. That's rough, buddy. For the side of winner's bracket. And now CMP has 2 dragons. I'm telling you right now, I think the side of CMP having that first dragon in that fight made the small little difference that they won it. I also didn't see what happened to Jubilee, but he must have had a hard time peeling. We'll go over that in review. Such a Vex hitter. I personally am not a huge fan of Vex either, but I just like personally think a lot of people don't pilot it well. I think it's a really good champion. I don't pilot it well. Personally, this game would be like one of the very few games I think Rod of Ages is acceptable. But you are the solo AP in this case. And if you go Rod of Ages, you need a Seraphs. I don't know about this dive, but I guess it's just gonna work. Except it won't! And Gentle Criminal is crazy! Goes down from the Maokai sapling. Yeah, I'm very confused about the point of this play from the side of winner's bracket. There is absolutely no point to making that play. And now Tacos Tuesdays goes down as well. I think in a world where Gentle Criminal didn't have Rod of Ages and wasn't that tanky, he goes down there. And that play is completely different. But the fact that Vex is able to fear away both Maokai and 900 Slimes under the turret and survive just that amount of time makes the difference. I was just saying, I think this is the only game that I think Rod of Ages is acceptable, and Jubilee and Zed are a little bit caught out here. Jubilee does not have flash, but Zed does and gets out. Yeah, so this is where I think winner's bracket messed up. Emilio is really good at peeling. Pat Jones a little caught out here, a little ambitious going the turret, but it doesn't matter. They have numbers. 900 Slimes. Oh no, Awesominator TPing behind. Tacos Tuesday with the re-engage. Awesominator fighting the Kai'Sa here. Let's see if I can get a bigger screen on this. Empirical does get Zillion ulted, and it's really tough for Awesominator to pick him up the kill because of the Zillion. 900 Slime still looking for blood. He smells iron on the wind. As a Gentle Criminal lands the ult on Tacos Tuesdays, and it's over. And he lands another ult, taking down Zed for his first death of the series. I was just about to mention, like, Jarvan is a really good pick into this Jinx Milio combo. 900 Slimes going in as Pyron Jubilee baits away Pyroan, and then 900 Slimes takes advantage of that and just dives in the enemy bot lane and gets some shutdown there. And for the third time, the reason why I think this is so difficult for Jubilee is because the Jinx Milio combo is really good. Milio is able to knock back enemies and give Jinx space, and Jinx is really good at gale forcing away, you know, creating space like that. but you can't Gale Force or knock back Jarvan after he ults. And we saw that in the mid lane. And from what I heard, Winners Bracket thought, oh man, Jinx Melio went pretty hard last game. Let's pick it up again. But there's a reason why it went so hard, and it's because Jubilee had so many tools to survive and lay down damage in the fight. And now we're seeing, from the side of CMP, they're able to shut down Jubilee and make it really more difficult. Now it's a lot more difficult for 900 Slimes to, close out the fights. I do want to say, though, even though 900 Slimes is playing really well, I do want to note that Pat Jones is 0-1-6. It's a pretty good score line into that lane. Pyroan getting a little bit caught out here. As Gentle Criminal dives onto Jubilee. Jubilee is able to flash heal out Zed. It does cleanse him. Zed is going down. There is a lot of ultimates going down. 900 Slimes is able to pick up Empirical. And Pat Jones goes down as well. Zillion forced to use the ult onto Gentle Criminal, but Gentle Criminal is not the carry. As Winter Brackers close it out and able to pick up their first dragon. And the gold swing swings back. This is crazy. This is a very good game. I mean, like, it's just team fight after team fight. I'm going to zoom a little bit back in. So we've gotten a lot of good team fights. 900 Slimes a little bit caught out. Pyroan flat ults him, but 900 Slimes just ults right back out. Empirical lands the W, but doesn't have the ult quite yet. Omstomator a little bit caught. Doesn't get hit by Pyroan's EQ. And Pyroan gets hit by the Everfrost, but Omstomator gets collapsed on, and now Z's in huge trouble. Gentle Criminal lands the ult onto 900 Slimes, and he goes down. A little bit of overstay on that turret as Baron's up, and Winners Bracket could have just taken the dragon, set up on Baron, hovered around it, not just run down and randomly hit the mid lane tower. And now CMP brings it back to even. Picks up the Baron, probably takes the lead. Makai trying to make something happen, but Jubilee does pick up the pick kill onto the Zillion. But now they're a little bit caught out. Taco Tuesday gets hit by the Ornal. There is a TP from the side of Winners Bracket as Omstomator tries to make something happen here, but Taco Tuesday is now down. The side of CMP is super low, and now Omstomator has his ult. Doesn't land the Q. That's important. 900 Slimes runs out of his charge. Picks up Pat Jones. Now Omstomator gets a reset on his ult. Has 2 dashes. Is he able to land the charm? Barely gets it onto Empirical. And now Empirical goes down. Pyroan doing a good job of canceling this stun on 900 Slimes to get out. Damn, did they add tempo plays from the side of Winners Bracket this patch? Absolutely not. It's bait. Slime's a little bit caught again, but just slam dunks out. Yeah, I agree. Or set up on Baron. Pyroan, hey! I was just commending a lot of the plays that you've been making in this game and how good of a series this is as the gold lead just swings back and forth constantly. CMP just barely having it, even despite being 4 kills down. Has the gold lead. Has the drag lead. Incredible series here. The team fights are wild. Niner Slime's caught yet again, but doesn't have his ultimate this time. And Pyro lands his ult onto Niner Slimes, not able to use the Blast Cone. But Pyro knocks him back into his team and not able to help. He does go down though. Pyron a little bit caught, able to EQ out. Gentle Criminals, his ult doesn't land. It does land. Goes in. Awesome trying to create some space for Jubilee to land some damage. Jubilee landing a good ult. Zillion does get his R off to get a reset target. But it looks like the side of CMP wins this pretty hard. Not much to lose here, though. As CMP does take the gold lead yet again, 2K. Which, at this point in the game, it's okay. There's a lot of gold swings. 2K isn't the worst thing to come back from. And now it looks like we're going to get a drag fight. Awesominator does have his TP. Einstein's just walking in on this Zillion, getting a good chunk down. Pyron going in, landing the ult onto Niner Slimes. We're seeing a TP from both Gentle Criminal and Awesominator. Maokai lands a big ult, but there's no follow-up. Niner Slimes chunked for the fight. Has to take a reset. Resetting on Vision. They see him resetting. But don't pull the trigger. Awesominator a little bit caught out. They're trying to get a pinch, but have to wait for Niner Slimes to get here. Taco Tuesday going in before Niner Slimes is here. Niner Slimes on the flank. Gentle Criminal lands the ultimate onto Jubilee, but Zed cleanses it as Niner Slimes is just wrecking their backline, and now they're just huge pinched. Pyroin trying to pick up a kill, does get it onto Tacos Tuesdays. Now there's... But Winner's Bracket has an incredible flank from Niner Slimes there. Some crucial things to note in that fight is that Jubilee did get hit from the ult from Gentle Criminal, but Gentle just doesn't have the damage with that build. He needs to play like more of like a front to back, and then towards the end use his ult to pick up a key target after things like the Milio ult are down, because Milio ult is the reason why Jubilee was able to quickly keep kiting. Really, really well played on the side of Winner's Bracket on that fight, and they take the gold lead yet a fucking again. This is a crazy, crazy fucking series. Excuse my language. I'm just hype. I'm amped. This is a really good series. Awesominator splitting without TP here. Baron is up in 17 seconds. Awesominator does get this turret, but he's not moving. And now the side of CMP is able to just walk. Pat Jones has the ultimate, or has TP, but Gentle Criminal is down here as well. If Winner's Bracket is as 4 here and pulls the trigger, but Tacos Tuesdays is caught out. Where is his team? Baron is alive, and now he's dead. Niner Slime's trying to make up for the fact, but it goes in and dives onto Empirical, but Zillion has the R. You can't get the kill. Jinx able to get the Zillion R, but now Pat Jones TP's in. Pyroin going back in. A lot of the key cooldowns from Winner's Bracket is down. Good Ornal taking out Zed. Niner Slime's tanking damage. Awesominator does make it in time. It lands a lot of key skill shots onto Empirical, but goes down from Gentle. Niner Slime's trying to get on top of the Zillion. Takes him out, but Gentle lands the ultimate onto Zed and trades. Just barely a win for the side of CMP as Niner Slime's taunts. I'm out of breath. I need some water. I mean, I guess it's a good split from Awesominator because you pulled 2 down there. But personally, I think Pat Jones could have just held the push himself, and CMP could have just wiped the side of winner's bracket there with by setting up on Baron, pulling the trigger, having Pat Jones TP in. Pyrone a little bit caught out as his team's not there to back him up, but Empirical does ult in, so does Gentle Criminal, and now they have numbers advantage out of nowhere. As Niner Slimes is just healed by Zed and is just using his W to come back in life. Pyrone does get the Zillion ult, so he doesn't get taken down. And there is no peeling for Jubilee. Zed forced to use all of his cooldowns to help Niner Slimes not get taken down. And Jubilee's not able to do anything. This is exactly what I was talking about in draft. Niner Slimes can get as fed as he wants, but he can't carry the fights himself.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Jubilee needs the peel in this composition. Alright. It all comes down to this. Dragon is alive in 15 seconds. This will be huge. Death timer's along. It's 33 minutes in. Pyrone going in by himself. Either team wins here, they could probably just run it down. Especially for winner's bracket. If they win a team fight right here, right now, they could run it down, win the game. But they just give it up. Awesominator with the split again needs to be here for these team fights. CMP using their Baron buff to their advantage. Tacos Tuesdays making an engage. 900 Slimes dunks on the enemy team. Zillion is not even able to use his ultimate as 900 Slimes goes down on his Pyro and re-engages, and now Tacos Tuesday is out of mana. Pyro just EQ, EQ, Q, Q. Did get the Zillion ult. And now he's just going crazy. Just kidding, that was a Guardian Angel. And CMP looks like they can just close up here. It was sort of a good last-ditch effort, as 900 Times did do a lot of damage, but it was kind of just weird. It was weird to me. Definitely, you know, stakes are high, blood's pumping, you want to make that play happen. It's hard to have a little bit of patience because you don't want to get blood dry. So I can see why we engage there. But it definitely made it awkward for the rest of the team. All right. That was an incredible series. Thank you guys for joining me here today. That was awesome. Oh, there was something I wanted to review. Does anyone remember what I was going to look over? Here, let's get a Bud Light replay real quick. Let's look over the early game because I think there's some key things we can note together on why this game didn't snowball to either side. Iceborne, thank you for the Twitch Prime. We appreciate that very much. It goes to the beer league and different expenses that we have. Because this is like a for free service, there are expenses when it comes to this, and we appreciate you using Twitch Prime. Alright, so key things to note here. The matchup in the jungle, Pyroan is able to dominate this early game. He's able to make that early game gank in the mid lane, forcing Awesominator to blow his flash in the early game. See if we can find it. It was just a 2-camp into ganking, which is really potent because most mid laners don't have a ward down by this time. Something to note that, like, in junglers like this, if you're a mid laner and there's a Jarvan on the other team, you kind of have to recognize that Jarvan can do this early game gank, and you have to get down an earlier ward than you normally would. But this is really, really good by Pyroan, recognizing that and getting the flash. Now, it also puts Maokai in a really, really tough position because he can't go into his red side. Also, I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right, Pyroan. And he recognizes that Maokai didn't take his red. He started topside. I missed where he knew that was a thing. But he also recognizes that he doesn't have time to pick up this red because he can gank the bot side. But Zed smurfs this ward right here. Was this Zed? It was Zed. Very good ward here. Jarvan wants to gank early. Really offsets the tempo for Pyroan. Really good ward. So those are, I don't know, just a little bit of recap. Really good play from Pyroan in the mid lane. And if this gank had worked, if that ward wasn't there, I think the game's completely different. I think Jubilee just has no gold at that point. I think Empirical has a way better advantage, and their bot lane would have popped off way more. So that was some early game recap plays that made a difference. Thank you guys again for joining me today. Again, if you do have Twitch Prime, it helps us a lot. If you're able to use it, we really appreciate it. Thank you again. It is a 1-1. Let me change the score at the top here for the series. Where is red side series score? There it is. 1. Boom. And it's a pretty good series. That second game was awesome. A lot of good stuff. Alright guys, I will catch you later.